Little people, big world. Caryn slams Matt over farm. Zach Roloff fears not being around for kids. Hello little people, big world fans, please hit the subscribe button for more update. Little people, big world. Caryn slams Matt over farm. Little people, big world star Matt Roloff walks away puffed up and proud after a kind deed. But Caryn Chandler lets the air out of his sails on the new season of the TLC series. In a strange turn of events, the LPBW patriarch seemed to make an altruistic move. It was a stunner to his ex-wife, Amy Roloff, for sure, who sat and listened to him talk. But after the dust settles, the story changes a bit when Caryn starts telling it. Little people, big world. Caryn Chandler accompanies Matt Roloff on gift-giving mission. The headlines report that Matt Roloff handed over the farm to Amy Roloff. While that is semi-correct, there's a disclaimer that comes along with that from the Little People, Big World star. Matt has to die first before the farm transfers over to his ex-wife. What he and Caryn Chandler sat down to tell Amy and Chris Merrick was if Matt Roloff died before Amy, any part of the farm that he still owns would go to her, the mother of his kids. Matt Roloff did all the talking. Caryn Chandler didn't say anything about it while in the company of his ex-wife and her husband, Chris. Matt Roloff did his presentation of his gift to Amy Roloff. But all Caryn did was very slightly nod her head as if she agreed with her future husband. Chris was hard to read in this clip from Little People, Big World. But some fans suggested that he looked a bit perturbed. Amy didn't know what to say to her ex as her quiet mode seemed to indicate she was stunned. Little people, big world. Matt offers reason for will revision. The Little People, Big World patriarch continued with his decision on the farm. Matt said his decision to leave the farm to his ex was the only thing to do as otherwise it's too complicated. Matt Roloff stunned his ex with this offering. She struggled trying to find the words to describe how she felt about this, but she settled on just saying, "It's crazy," when sitting by herself in front of the Little People, Big World camera. So it looked like this was all about Matt being fair and caring. But that thought didn't last too long for fans. It wasn't until Caryn Chandler had her say that things that changed the story from how he first presented it. Little people, big world. Caryn shakes her finger at Matt. Caryn Chandler looks as if she feels slighted during her future husband's presentation about making his ex-wife his beneficiary for anything farm-related. But Caryn isn't put out by Matt Roloff leaving her this. No, when Caryn gets in front of the Little People, Big World camera later, she points her finger at her fiancé and gives him a piece of her mind. It seems it's Caryn's idea to leave everything to Amy, except for their Arizona home. Caryn Chandler seems to burst Matt's bubble after riding high on his gesture of goodwill toward his ex. She did that by turning to Matt and sternly stating, "I had the idea." He chuckled and agreed that she did suggest he leave everything to his ex-wife. Caryn also went into a spiel that she doesn't want to lay claim to anything that the Little People, Big World family built together before she came on the scene. All she wants is their Arizona home, which is theirs together. So, there you have it. Matt was riding high for a little while until Caryn set the story straight. For some reason, Caryn Chandler needed to take credit for Matt Roloff bequeathing the farm to his ex. But those dynamics soon play out when Little People, Big World Season 25 rolls out Tuesday, February 20, at 9 p.m. on TLC. Little People, Big World. Zach Roloff fears not being around for kids. Zach Roloff from Little People, Big World fears not being around for his kids. He worries that his health can worsen, causing something serious to happen to him. Little People, Big World. Zach Roloff undergoes emergency surgery. Zach Roloff has been dealing with bad migraines for a while. However, doctors weren't able to tell him what was causing them. When he went to seek medical attention, they would treat him and send him home. But after a headache worse than the rest, he decides to go to the hospital. The Little People, Big World cast member rushes to the emergency room. While there, he finds out that he has to get surgery. The excess cerebrospinal fluid in his head was causing all the pain. So, he had to get revision surgery on the shunt in his head. Zach had to spend time in the hospital recovering from his surgery. However, he eventually went home and reunited with his children, Jackson, Layla, and Joza. Zach's surgery scares Jackson Roloff. Zach asks Jackson what he was thinking when he was in the hospital. His son tells him that he didn't think he got staples in his head. He explains that his eldest child knew he was in the hospital. He thinks his son had a pretty good awareness of what was happening. Tori Roloff explains that their son had leg surgery. So, they didn't shy away from the fact that the TLC celeb was having surgery. However, the Little People, Big World castmate reveals that Jackson was scared and nervous about what was happening. He says you could tell their son was thinking about his dad and wondering if he would be okay and when he was coming home. Tori asks Jackson Roloff how he takes care of his dad. He says, by listening to Mom. Zach explains that when they picked him up from the hospital, the nurse told them what he could and could not do. He says that his son understood that there were rules. So, Tori feels that he has been a little police officer. Little People, Big World celeb worries health can escalate. Zach Roloff knows that a lot can happen in a week. The TLC star explains that the pressure could build up again. He adds that he could get more migraines and feel nauseous. He also knows that the shunt could fail or get an infection. So he knows that he is not out of the woods. The Little People, Big World celeb feels better. But he still gets headaches now and again. And it is causing medical trauma. He explains that every time he gets a headache, he worries that it is going to escalate or that there is something wrong with the shunt. So, he is trying not to overthink when he feels pain in his head. Zach knows that anything can happen, but he feels that he needs to be there for his kids. If something serious were to happen to him, he wouldn't want Tori to have a conversation with their children about why he isn't around anymore. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.